Flags being waved in the Mungasaufa Stadium.
FA Cup semi-final day, as Arsenal and Wolves meet at Villa Park.
Arsenal suggesting at the start of the second half they're about to take over. This is Rice. Now, can Wolves survive this? Talbot. Price. Won it well. Stapleton. Oh, yes! Fred Stapleton! He deserves the goal more than any other player on the field. And just look at the reception. Sunderland is through. Alan Sunderland scores against his old club the goal that almost certainly means Arsenal are destined for Wembley.
The second semi-final between Manchester United and Liverpool went to a replay before United ended Liverpool's double dream.
Thomas. McElroy is just inside. Greenough is far post. Jimmy Greenough! Manchester United have scored! Jimmy Greenough! Would you believe it?
United were made to pay a week later in a league game at Anfield.
Did that nicely. Dalglish! Thomas. Just overran that slightly, and here's Ray Kennedy with Case breaking on the right. Liverpool have played that ball so well this afternoon. McDermott is in support inside, and Phil Neal's made a run from the back. Still Case. There's Neal! Oh, I say! Phil Neal!
The road to Liverpool's 11th League Championship has been signposted so long that almost the only question was when and where they'd actually win it. Arriving at Anfield for last night's final home game against Villa, there was no doubting the message from 50,000 Merseyside prophets that the end of Nottingham Forest's reign as champions was at hand. Victory and 2 points would clinch the league for the third time in 4 seasons, and the unswerving faith of public and players alike was rewarded in 47 seconds. Dalglish lays the ball back to McDermott, and it's fullback Alan Kennedy popping up as Liverpool's most forward attacking player, who turns it into the net. The most magical goal in Liverpool's 3-0 victory was saved for the Kop end. A cut back from the goal line by Dalglish that seemed impossible, and McDermott's finishing immaculate.
And so what is arguably Liverpool's greatest ever team secured the club's 11th championship with a record total of 68 points to mark Bob Paisley's 40th anniversary at Anfield.
Laps of honour have almost worn a path in the turf at Anfield in the past 7 seasons. But experience suggests British football might only appreciate how good they are when their achievements are recalled in years to come.
To win the championship and only concede 16 goals, and we only conceded 4 goals at Anfield all year. And people would say to you, well, you must have been really defensive. But we actually scored 85 goals that year.
Liverpool's total of 85 goals secured a £50,000 payday from the Sun newspaper, which had set a target of 84 goals.
Who scored the 84th? Yeah, me, yeah. I was running to the crowd going, 50 grand. It's like that rather than like that. Roll out the red carpet,
the red carpet. This time last year, Brian Talbot was training just as hard and with just as much enthusiasm in preparation for the cup final. His club then was Ipswich, where he made his name and became an international player. Ipswich went on to beat Arsenal, and Brian Talbot collected his first cup winner's medal.
So come Saturday afternoon, you may have 2 medals with 2 different clubs. Hopefully, I'll keep your fingers crossed.
Players are on their way. Dave Sexton leads out Manchester United, and Terry Neal on the far side leaves out Arsenal. Beckham and Sunderland now close together. This is Brady trying to shake off Macari. Sweet skills from Brady. Stapleton out on the right. Trying to feed Price. Price is in here for Arsenal. Talbot on right and Sunderland the right as well. Alan Sunderland got in. Pat Rice has gone sprinting down the right for Arsenal. This is Talbot. This is Brady. Good skills from Brady. Two waiting in the centre for the cross. Stapleton! 2-0 to Arsenal. Stapleton scores. And Liam Brady has played a part in both the goals. Just 4 minutes on the clock. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 0. Free kick to United. And they've got to make something of this now, Manchester United, to stay in with a chance of a dramatic recovery in the last few minutes. Left for Koppel. Thomas almost got a flick on, appeals for hands against Jordan. And McQueen! Gordon McQueen turned it in with just under 4 minutes to go. And suddenly, the cup final is far from finished. Everybody was waiting upfield, and they still are for United. Koppel. McElroy's through. McElroy's through. And McElroy has done it. What drama here. McElroy for United. It's 2-2. They've scored twice in a minute. There's a minute left on the clock. Brady for Arsenal. Right across, Sunderland! It's there! It's 3-2! Arsenal are back in front through Alan Sunderland. United have possibly thrown it away within seconds of getting it back. Terry Neal probably can't take it in at this moment because the supporters have just seen 3 quite dramatic minutes. Pat Rice, who, as I say, grew up in the most humble of surroundings near the Arsenal ground in North London, will now receive the FA Cup from a young man of about the same age who was brought up in a palace. The moment every captain at whatever level in football dreams about. The cup belongs to Arsenal.
Took me 10 years to win a cup winners medal, and now I've got one after 4 months. Just can't believe it.
In Europe, Forest fans travel to Munich to see Trevor Francis make his European debut in the biggest game of all, the European Cup final, against Swedish outsiders Malmö.
Woodcock. It's particularly disappointing score at half-time, bearing in mind that Malmö had lost 2 important players before the start of the match and have lost a third during the course of the first half. Robertson, the first time we've seen them attack them, and there's Francis! Well, that's what I wanted to see Robertson do. And Trevor Francis, the £1 million man, puts his name on the score sheet and returns a great deal of the cheque. Brian Clough joined Forest in January 1975. When they were 13th in the second division. He said it would take 6 years to produce a championship team. In fact, it's taken 4 years and 5 months for them to win the European Cup through the 1 goal scored by Trevor Francis, for whom he was prepared to write out a cheque for over £1 million.
Scoring that goal and playing well in a European Cup final projected me to star status, and my career, if I thought it had changed some 4 months prior to that when I became a £1 million footballer, it changed quite dramatically once again.
John McGovern holds the European Cup aloft.
So this season saw the first influx of foreign players, the first £1 million transfer, and the long-awaited breakthrough of black players. The times they are a-changing. Next week, sponsorship fever breaks out, and football cashes in. See you then.